Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Sales Unscripted podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Margaret Henny.
I'm the other host, B. Neal here, Brian Neal.
And the reason we're laughing and why I said welcome back is we just recorded this episode, or we thought we did, but the audio wasn't recording.
It was a recording at some point and then it stopped. We don't really know where.
He
So we had
stopped
two
me.
choices.
He was like, Margaret. Just stop. And we both cussed. There was a lot of four-letter words. But you know what? We're taking a big breath and we're back, baby.
So we have been 6 weeks since we did this last or something like that. So it's been a minute. So we've got lots to cover.
We do.
Let's see. We talked about Portugal.
We did. We covered that last time. Yes.
It's hotter than hell. We talked about this.
So hot up here.
We talked about you like hot. And
I do.
Like
I
air
love
conditioning. I love air conditioning. It's really hot.
Okay. The thing that I really wanted to know from you that I wanted to talk about too was your tour.
World tour. Or no, it's summer tour. Go ahead.
Your summer tour that you're on, because I don't think we had talked about this the time before because it was like a stroke of genius that came up. And I was like in the office. Multiple people have come up to me and been like, what is this tour that Brian is on? And are you meeting him on this tour? So,
well, maybe you are. We'll see. Because you didn't know about it.
No.
Well, you kind of knew about it. You know what we're doing. So
right, sure.
This was the thing. And we talked a little bit about this downstairs. What if you have between your spouse? So my spouse is also our CEO. And we both have a thing where we take credit for each other's ideas. It's not good.
Yeah.
So at some point in the past 7 years, she mentioned something about going to other cities, apparently.
I love it.
That I don't remember. Anyway. But I was traveling for a whole bunch of stuff, for football, for personal stuff, all this jazz. And I was with my VP of Marketing, Skip, and I said, hey, why don't we just make this like a summer tour? Like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Like a concert schedule.
Like, let's do it. So we made a concert tease. We got a schedule.
Yes.
We got sold out, low ticket alerts. We have concert tease. We have laptop stickers, and you know what else we have because you saw them or you heard about them. We have tattoos.
They're genius.
Tattoos. Now, they're temporary tattoos. We're not bringing tattoo artists. They're awesome. So we'll be around, and we think, because Margaret and I are recording this for the second time, Margaret's going to meet me, we think,
hopefully,
we hope, in
Denver.
In Denver.
Yes.
And that will be July the 25th.
Okay.
Is the day we'll be doing our little meetup. And I've got some friends out there that are like big time podcast listeners that are going to help me put my other podcast. Put some stuff together. So, and I think Margaret should come with.
I would
bring Derek.
I would love to.
Love that,
and
right?
He would love to. Like, yes, it would be so fun. And
fantastic.
Also the idea to tell people like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I got to go to town. I'm going on tour.
Well, you are, because you are. Well, there's always, and we could even do like Sales Unscripted could be the opening act.
Yeah.
And I could do an advanced selling podcast one. But no, I think this will be the main show. Like, why not?
Do you know that I like, well, first of all, I love to write. I like write in like my personal life.
I think I knew that. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Like fiction?
It's usually more like kind of memoir, short story, like that sort of thing. And
By the way, we didn't cheers.
Oh, yeah. Here.
It's Friday. Cheers. We drank all of our wine.
No wonder freaking recording wasn't working. We're over here drinking all of our rosé.
And we're having a little rosé all day.
But I have this like dream of writing a book one day.
I didn't know this.
Because I love to write a book.
I didn't know this.
But I will also tell you, like, one of the main reasons I want to write a book, I realized, is I think I want to go on tour and do readings because I love to perform.
See?
And the idea of going to like bookstores or like whatever, and like that is like, oh my God, that is like my dream one day.
It started.
Yeah, okay.
This is what we're going to do. I didn't know you wanted to write. I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do, don't you?
Hold me accountable.
100%. I'm going to make you 100%. No, seriously, I'm going to make you put it to paper. Do you know I've written a movie?
No. What?
You didn't know that, did you?
Stop.
See, all these little secrets are coming out here.
I feel like
I have a 14-page movie treatment that I wrote about what I think is a fucking awesome story.
Okay, tell me.
Most people, I'm not going to tell
you. Oh, you can't say it. You can't say it. It's proprietary.
And all I want is to have the movie produced. I don't care about if I want to be like I don't need to be involved. It's a treatment. That's what you do. You don't write dialogue in a treatment. You just sort of write the story arc.
Oh yeah.
Which kind of goes into our little topic here in a minute. But that's a thing, right?
Yes.
So we should talk about that off air.
Off air. Let's talk about it off air. Okay.
Now,
yes, go ahead.
Well, I was going to play my little clip.
Please, yes.
Because it's hotter than hell.
Yes.
And we thought this was an interesting little thing. So I was watching the news, national news, NBC National News with Lester Holt. And this is about a storm.
Because it's storm season
storm season
in the Midwest.
This is a storm threat thing. So I want you to listen to the audio and pay attention to the thing at the end that caught my attention that I thought was really weird. Listen up.
We come on the year, more than 4 million people are under tornado alerts from Texas to Kansas that could bring 80-mile-per-hour winds, even DVD-sized hail.
What? Sorry. What the fuck? DVD size. When did we start comparing hail?
Saw this on your phone.
Right, it's
I don't
on
know
there.
If we can
it's hard to zoom in.
It's not going to
Yeah.
work.
It says on the TV.
What the fuck do they mean? DVD-sized hail.
And I'm just thinking in my mind. Now, you said something that's interesting about who this was appealing to.
Millennials.
It's millennials. And my thing is, attention, NBC News, nothing personal. There's not a fucking millennial on earth that's watching nightly news with Lester Holt. Not one of you all.
Bless you,
right?
Lester. Do your
they
thing,
try.
Lester.
They're trying. Gen Xers are hanging on to the local national news, but everybody else, my kids don't even know that exists. They don't. They have no idea. Well, I said, you know who Lester Holt is? They're like,
Who?
I'm like, he's on national news. You know what they'd say? What's that?
the national news?
What is that?
Yeah,
I'm like,
totally.
like on NBC, they would then say, what's NBC?
That?
They would know it from, oh, wait, is that Peacock where I watch
Yes.
football
Oh my
games?
God, that is exactly what they would
that
say.
Way, but they don't know NBC. Very interesting, isn't it? So I just, DVD, like why? I don't understand why we went with DVDs.
Well,
on
I
the
said
hail
this to you.
size.
I said this to you off air, and this is inappropriate, but whatever. We're drinking wine, and it's
Friday.
and it's Friday. But I was like, no, all hail comparisons should be like a ball reference. It should be balls references, right? It's golf ball, it's softball, it's whatever. And of course, you laughed at me because I was like,
because all boys' brains stopped developing at age 13 because it's like
they
Beavis
cannot
and
be
Butthead.
a flat disc though. Like that's stupid.
Right.
That was actually a really good Beavis and Butthead.
It's not bad, actually.
Very impressive.
What great characters. So I don't know who is writing the copy for NBC News for
Not
the
DVD
hail
sized.
size, but I would switch gears if I were you. Get off of the planer. Like it's a plane. A DVD, a CD is a
It's got to
plane.
be sphere, baby.
It was funny though when you said this is.
What? Wait, can we check the recording really quick? Let's
Well, for
just
what?
to make sure.
Oh yeah, it's on. Yeah,
Okay, great.
Red.
Okay,
We're
okay,
good. Thank you.
you.
Good. That's a
Paranoid.
great question.
Okay.
You said DVD. Well, I don't understand. Why wouldn't they go with CD? And I'm kind of like, aren't you missing the point?
You were like, Margaret, go further.
No.
That's
Yes, a little bit. Like, no one knows what a DVD is. They should have said CD instead. I'm like, that's not really what we're after here,
hence
sunshine.
my millennialism
yes,
too.
it is.
I
Totally,
guess. But-
totally. So let's stick with the balls.
Yep. Ball, exactly. Keep it ball related, guys.
100%. Please and thank you. And then we're going to hear about your mom's story on next episode.
Next
correct?
time.
Okay.
Yes.
Topic.
But
Time. What?
now,
And?
I don't know how far in we are to this podcast, but
We're
we're
good.
finally going to talk about sales.
We're ready. Exactly.
So
It's storytelling. We started off. Yeah.
okay,
Topic,
so
go
that
ahead.
is the topic. It's
Yeah.
using the power of storytelling within sales.
Yes.
And I had said previously, I'm going to stop referencing it, but that's more of like a varsity level move
It is. It's
because
bravo.
it's like something that is not easy to kind of like work in right away. But you can totally get there because I love this saying and it's always stuck with me. Facts tell, stories sell. Right, thank you.
This is a marketing chick.
Sorry. So,
Okay.
and it's better if you get to do both of
true.
them, right? Like bring
No
them
doubt.
both together, but it has to be facts told within a story kind of context, right?
So
Because it's way
true.
more powerful, and that's
Way.
who we are as humans. Like that's how we've communicated for millennial is telling stories.
Millennial says millennial. It's interesting.
Shut
up. No. You're mad at me because the recording stopped. I can tell you kind
I'm
of
not
are.
mad at you. I'm
it's
just
kind of
mad
my role,
at the
though.
wasted.
It's kind of role.
No,
It's
I'm not
my-
mad at you.
It's my job.
No, don't
I
feel
failed.
bad.
I failed. I suck at my job.
Oh my God. You're fine.
Okay, so I want to flip it back to you. Great timing because you did that last time. Take a sip of wine. So from a marketing standpoint, because marketing people,
Yes.
I think are really good storytellers. I want to hear how you, as a marketing person, develop and create a story. What's the arc you use? What do you use? What are the mechanics of a good story?
Totally.
Start
Okay.
there.
I can outline this for you.
Okay.
So typically these are coming about organically, by the way. We're not saying like, hey, this is a story I want to tell. We're saying, hearing it from our frontline people, from salespeople, from support people, account managers, and they're coming to marketing saying, oh my God, I just had a great conversation with one of our customers, with a prospect. And I'm like, amazing. Put me in touch, and then we can go a little bit further in that, right? So we can say, all right, let's hear a little bit more about why co-video worked for you in this way. So another thing that we did that was really, really cool earlier this year is the first time we done it, and I don't know why. It was called Showroom Superstars.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we put out a call for submissions. And we had our auto guys and gals who are in the showroom share their stories, like how they're using video, why it's working for them, the responses that they've got from customers. And then we had this whole like catalog that then we could go to them and tell each different story. And it was chef's kiss. Amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't plan this, but I already heard you say that. We'll stop referencing the episode that does not exist, that shall not be named. The episode that shall not be named.
Exactly.
Is that you gave a great framework for storytelling. It's just brilliant. It's that challenge, action, result with a data backup, right?
Exactly.
What the problem was, here's what we did, here was the result, here's the proof.
Totally.
Fantastic.
Yes. And we'll just take a little part of what they told us, whether it's one quote, one story, and then we like, or one anecdotal situation, and we craft a story around that, right?
Awesome.
So we have like kind of context setting, and then we say what the challenge or opportunity was.
Yep.
Then we say how they used video in that situation, right?
Yep.
And then, so that was your solution, and then the outcome. And then boom.
And so Margaret just gave you the framework. It's that challenge, action, result, and then some data proof. The other thing she told you, which is the magic from a salesperson standpoint. So I'll flip over to the sales side now.
Yeah.
Salespeople, I hear this all the time when I started to teach storytelling. They go, I don't have any stories, man. I don't have any stories. I'm like, Margaret just told you, they're right in front of you.
Yeah.
Your clients are the stories. They're right there. You just haven't thought of them that way. So as a salesperson, the trick here is to start to pay attention to that. And if I just said, do you have a like your best client that started whatever and they started using your stuff and now it's really awesome? They're like, oh yeah, I've got one of those. Tell me about it. Here comes the story.
Exactly.
Right? And then you put it in that framework, that challenge, action, result with a proof is just fantastic. So this whole idea of like, I don't have a story is baloney.
It's essentially a case study, but you're just verbalizing it, right?
Yes.
You know, and you're breaking it down and telling it in an even more engaging way, because sometimes case studies can be like a little bit stale, you know, whatever. I know, right?
What are you doing this weekend? I'm going to read a couple of case studies. I'm flipping through here. Well, I'm going to read a couple white papers.
I'm going to talk.
Why is it called a white paper,
I don't know,
by
but
the way?
I hate white
I
papers.
do too. Thank you. What is the difference between a white paper and a case study?
I don't know.
I don't either.
It's dumb. It's nuanced.
I know academic people probably know. Like,
they probably love it.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway. So let's go to now the mechanics.
Totally.
Storytelling.
Tell them how to church it up.
So we have the framework, challenge, action, result, data. They're right in front of you. They're your clients. Now we've got to actually now put that into words. Okay. Yes. Here's the first bit of advice. By the way, I give credit. All the storytelling stuff that I've learned came from a guy named Bo Eason, E-A-S-O-N. He is a former professional football player. I think he might have played with your father-in-law.
Leon White.
Yep, Leon White. He played for the Bengals and the Chargers. No,
yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
Bengals
really good
Chargers?
memory.
Good. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I knew that I had his football card when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Not really.
Oh, wait,
he played a long time.
Was it the Chargers?
No, well, he's from San Diego. So yeah, I thought so.
No, what's the team that was in St. Louis?
Rams. Played for the Rams.
The Rams when they were in LA.
Ah, got it.
Sorry.
So my guess is he may have tackled this guy named Tony Eason.
Okay.
Not Bo. Tony Eason is Bo's brother. Tony Eason was a little more famous than Bo in football.
Okay.
He played, I think, for the Patriots as a quarterback. So we'll look that up. I'll fact check that. But Bo played 3 or 4 years in the NFL. And then when he retired, he wanted to be an actor. So he took a bunch of acting classes to be this great actor. And then he wrote, produced, and performed a one-act play called Runt of the Litter, which is his life story.
So cool.
It's about he's the youngest, smallest brother, undersized. All of his brothers played big-time college, big-time pro football. Tony Eason's a pretty famous old football player. And Bo was just okay. But, man, he had a drive. So he told this story of his life in a one-act play. Some big business executive from New York somewhere saw him do this and afterwards asked him if he would come in and teach his executives how to tell stories because Bo was so good at it. So that's what launched Bo's deal.
That's so
I
cool.
was lucky enough, because Bo's a pretty big deal now. I got him before he was that big of a deal and got to spend a day in his living room.
Awesome.
Him coaching me personally on my personal stories. Awesome. In his living room. So great.
Yeah.
So what I'm about to tell you came straight from Bo Eason. Here's the first bit. Every story has BME. BME. Okay?
We practiced this, so I will tell you. It was beginning, middle, and end.
And what is the hardest part for salespeople?
The end.
The end. People do not know how to stop stories. And they ramble, and what they do is and then, which is a movie quote we can't really talk about anymore. But it's really funny. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
You don't know that movie?
No.
I don't know if it's appropriate. Yeah, it's from Dude, Where's My Car? Ashton Kutcher.
Oh,
when they're
oh
ordering
my God,
food.
Yes.
Then,
Okay. Oh my God, I do remember that.
Then that's all.
Yep,
And then. So that's how people tell stories. And they just keep going. It never ends. And so it dilutes the whole story. So you've got to learn to punch out.
Yes.
Stop the story.
Yeah.
And you said you had your clients.
Yes. Okay. So I
video
recently
clients. Yeah.
was out at a multi-rooftop dealership where I was chatting with them, and
Explain
I was
what that
like,
means to the listeners
"Oh,
if they
sorry.
don't know auto
It
business.
just is like there's lots of stores under one brand. So this is the Del Grand Dealer Group, right?
Yep.
So
And
they
there
have
may be a
19
Ford
different
store and a Chrysler
exactly.
store and a Jeep store.
You got it.
Right?
Yep.
Got it.
So I was out there chatting with them, and I couldn't believe it because I was like, hey, what part do you guys really struggle with the most when making videos? And I thought they would say like just getting started in general or what to say. And they were like, we don't know how to wrap up our videos and give a call to action. And I was like, that's the trouble. Like I was
Right.
like, that's actually awesome news for me because I
Yes.
can fix that super, super quick for
Yes.
you. So
Yes.
that's something that we
and
trained
it's
on.
validating that people struggle with that. They
Yes,
go,
totally.
So hey, this is Brian. I'm down here, blah 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 Chrysler, and I'd love to come see you. So check it out. I got a lot of cars, and love to talk to you, and love to help you out. If I could do anything to help
could
you, I
call
would
me,
love
you
you. If
could
you want to call
text
me, you can
me,
try me on
like,
the internet or look me
maybe.
up. That's not what you do. You say, hey, it's Brian Neal. Love to help you out. Focusing right now, I'm moving to new cars and da da da. I want to buy your car. Here's what you got to do. Text me 317 ... and I'll get right back to you. Stop.
Done.
Stop.
Out.
Just
mic
stop,
drop.
Right.
Think
Just
about
stop.
the mic drop.
Right.
Like,
It's
right.
over.
What is your mic
It's
drop
over.
moment in
Correct.
your story? And
Yes.
that's when you end it.
Yes. And when you do the framework that Margaret taught you earlier, challenge, action, result, data, here was the problem, here was the action we took, here was the result. They got a 28% lift in show rate, and here's the data to prove it. If you want to know how to do this, email me at margaret@covideo.com.
Boom.
Stop. You got to learn to stop. That's
Yep.
the first thing. Salespeople are horrible at that.
Yeah.
And then it just meanders. It's awful. So that's the first thing. Second thing, vivid imagery. This is something Bo taught me about. And when you think about this, do you read?
I do.
Read.
I love to read.
Oh, and I hate reading.
Yeah.
We talked about this already. But I've only read one book my whole life.
I
It's The Firm.
cannot believe that is true.
What was the word you said earlier? You're what?
I am aghast.
See, and aghast. I don't even know what that means. That's why I
If
don't
you
read.
read, you would.
That's not true. Because if I read and they used words I didn't understand, I'd be like, this is so dumb. I don't know these words.
Stop.
I'm out. I didn't go to
Context
private school. I
clues.
didn't go to private
Context
school.
clues.
I didn't go to private school.
Shush.
I went
Keep
to
going.
public school, state school.
God,
This is a charity case.
You are ridiculous.
Don't roll your eyes.
I'll roll my eyes at you. You're all okay. Keep going. Keep
Butter.
going. I'll fight with you about this off screen.
Off screen. So we've got to use vivid imagery. So if it's summertime and I'm walking barefoot like you do after a swimming pool thing.
Yeah,
You're walking
yeah.
barefoot. You're like, oh man, I walked to my car. It was so hot. Okay, that's one way to say it. Another thing is to say, I took my barefoot and took my first step, and my foot, bottom of my foot sizzled like my mom making bacon in the cast iron skillet when I was 9 years old. And then my second step was even worse. And then suddenly it felt like my feet were already blistering. And then by the time they got to my car, both my feet were numb. And when I got in, it was like I didn't have use of my legs.
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Right.
But that's a totally different thing. That was really hot, and I ran to my car, and my feet hurt. See
Right,
that?
right.
Vivid imagery.
We're
And-
there with you.
100%.
And like one of the things that like you do this sometimes too. I don't think you do it knowingly.
Yeah.
But like inviting people into a story too. Like our CEO does this, which I think is really funny. He'll be like, imagine with me for a moment, or like, can you imagine if, and it immediately puts me into imagination mode.
Everybody
like,
does.
He's not planning on doing it, but it's like you'll be like, "Hey, picture this," like da 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 da, and all of a sudden you're like, "Wow, you just said that, and now I'm picturing it
Right,
too." And then
right.
when you use descriptive language, you can't help but picture it.
It's impossible. I even do it when I'm teaching this. I'll say this to you now. Do not picture the Eiffel Tower.
It
Wipe it out of your.
done
You
in
can't
my
not.
head
So you driving,
immediate.
listening, don't picture the Eiffel Tower. Now keep your eyes on the road.
Pause for one
ready.
second.
I'm ready.
I'm sorry.
We're still recording.
Okay,
we
good.
made it past the break point.
Yes,
Keep going.
it's working. Okay, good. Speaking of Eiffel Tower, shout out
no shit.
to Indianapolis,
Amen, right?
who is hosting right now the U.S. Olympic swimming trials right here in Indianapolis. They built, by the way, like a mini Eiffel Tower outside of where the swim meet
Yes.
is happening, which, by the way, is happening in Lucas Oil Stadium. It's the very first time that they've ever had a swimming pool inside of a football stadium, and they
Yes.
are going to have the highest attendance ever at a swim meet. We're going
Phenomenal.
to set a record, baby.
Crazy, isn't it? How good. It's so cool.
go.
So cool.
Okay.
And so Vivid imagery, you picture things. Well, and on my flight home from Washington, I was in D.C. for football. 2 swimmers from the University of Virginia who were trying out were on my plane.
Sick.
I knew this because there were 2 women, both blonde. One was about 6'2", super long legs, really long arms, and a backpack that was a Speedo branded backpack.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming she was coming from
Probably
swimming.
just
That's
built
my
for
guess.
swimming too, you know,
That's my
just
guess.
like almost like a
web toes, all that
frog.
stuff.
Yeah.
So really cool thing for our city. You get the vivid imagery, though. Even Margaret describing that, the first time a swimming pool is put inside of a football stadium, you're like, your brain starts to picture it. Okay? Vivid imagery. Bo would say what happens then when you use beginning, middle, and end, that's easy framework stuff. Then you start to use vivid imagery. Then you add emotion to the vivid imagery. So you use emotional sorts of things. Like when I first met these guys and I walked in, it was like the most defeated look on their face. You know, I was walking into a sales team. I felt like I was walking into a group of people who just got laid off. Like they just found out they were losing their jobs or something, or they're just so miserable looking on their face. But deep inside, past the misery, I could see a little hope. There was like a little glimmer of hope. See that? So you picture it, right? So once you do that, you picture these things. Then what happens is, I love this part of this.
Okay,
ready?
good.
People always go into your story. They always go into your story.
Okay, cool.
So what Bo helped me do with my story for keynote speaking, I used to say, well, I got involved in football officiating because I loved it.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, okay. Now what I say is when I was 9 years old, my dad was going to take us to the movie Superman. Before he took us, he took me and my brother, set us up on the countertop at our home, and to get eyeballs to eyeballs with us and said, hey, before we take off for the movie, I got to let you guys know that your mom and I have decided that we're going to get divorced. Okay, right. See, you're in there.
I am like in the story.
You're in it. Okay. Now, here's what happens, and I tell this story all the time from the stage. I'm demonstrating storytelling and how compelling it is. And I say, when I told you that, you don't have to because it's personal, but raise your hand if when I said that, if your parents are divorced, that your brain went right to when your parents told you, and literally it goes pop, pop, pop. All these people start raising their hand. It's impossible to not go there. They go into your story. Now, if you're not divorced or you weren't, your parents are still married or whatever, you go somewhere else with it. You could go to like your friend or your something like that, or you're like, thank God, or you feel for me. You have
I
empathy
can see
for
the
me.
counter that you're on. And
with little kids. You got
like
it, right?
I am picturing you.
People go into this story.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you don't need to tell a woe is me story. And
Yeah.
my dad put me in a burlap bag and beat me senseless.
He
That's from?
didn't. Don't
No,
say that. You're going to put that out
that's
there
a movie
in people's
quote.
brains.
That's a movie quote.
Is
That's
it?
from Austin Powers.
Oh,
when
oh,
Dr.
oh,
Evil's
oh,
getting
oh, oh.
therapy, and he said, my father used to put me in a burlap bag and beat me senseless. You know,
My mother was
something-
it's like some
exactly.
kind of whore. What was
Exactly.
she?
It was fantastic.
Like from Belgium.
From Belgium, totally.
I know what you're talking about.
It's a great
okay,
quote.
sorry.
So those are the 3 things story element wise to really work on. And you said something, I don't think you said it in this recording. You said it last time. You use the word craft. Craft the story. This is the other thing. People think you like do this and it's over. This never ends. It never ends because the story keeps changing too.
The
Every day,
refining.
all constant.
You're
Constant.
always
A
making
word,
it
a
better.
thing.
You're either like adding or
Yes.
subtracting. I have to say,
Always.
like the best stories are highly edited.
Yes.
They are tight
Concise.
and clean and beautiful. Like
For
you
sure.
have taken out the things that don't need to be there, and everything else that is mandatory.
Yes.
It is like whoosh, like a beautiful. I don't know what.
Say it.
I was gonna say machine, but that's not right.
When you see a movie, I'm not a huge movie guy, but I know a lot of old movies. I just sort of stopped watching movies. What you don't know is there are a whole bunch of scenes that were shot for that movie that
Yeah.
didn't make it into the movie.
Totally.
Cut room, they call it the cut room, right? That's all on purpose to exactly what Margaret's saying is like they cut things out. So less is more, cut things out, cut frivolous words, frivolous details out of a story. Just tell good, vivid imagery stories. People will get into it, they'll listen. And I'm telling you, it's a compelling process. You learn to get good at this.
Yep.
That's good shit right there.
Damn, I want to like
go,
high
girl.
five you. You like
can
high
high five.
fives, right? I know
Oh,
Steph
yeah, no,
hates
she
high
hates them, yeah.
fives,
I'll
which
do
is
high fives
really
next.
funny.
Yeah, but we got through it the second time. Just about as good as the first, huh?
Let's go, baby.
Told you.
I will say
You were so
also,
sad.
like teaser for the next episode.
Yeah.
Because like storytelling was the part that I was really good at when I was in sales. The stuff afterwards
Oh, that's what we're
is the
talking
stuff that
about
I struggle
next.
with. So hold on. There's a cliffhanger. What do you think about that story cliffhanger? Let's get more wine.
If you want to, we will. We'll get more bottles downstairs. Okay, that's it. So we're going on tour. We're fingers crossed that
Yes.
Margaret can join us in Denver, Colorado on July 25. No matter where you're listening to this. And then if not, we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Okay, cheers. Bye.
Bye.